Hello and welcome. My name is Nav, and I thank you once again for joining me for a practice on your mat. Well, today my mat is the grass underneath my feet. I can be afforded the luxury of practicing outdoors. And for today's class, we'll be focusing on the primary series of the Ashtanga Vinyasa Sequence. Now, in a previous video, I had covered the first part of the Ashtanga series, which is simply your sun salutation A and B. So today we'll breeze by those two first steps so we can practice and get into the practice of our primary series, in which we work with an intention of holding our postures for about 5 or so breaths. I'll explain other things as we get started. We'll be working relatively hands-free, so we won't be adding any weight to our hands. So with that in mind, we'll get started maybe at the top of our mats. Just taking a minute or so as we slow things down, as we bring awareness into the body, as we settle down our mind, and eventually prepare to shift attention towards our breath. Now, as we do begin standing, some of you will just keep your eyes open and look at something at the floor in front of you. Others may have the ability to soften the eyelids. But if you feel like you're losing a bit of balance or feel a bit uneasy doing so, just do what feels best for you. Just bringing a sense of awareness to different areas of your body, spreading your toes, engaging your glutes ever so slightly, lengthening through your spine as you roll your shoulders onto your back body. Now, instead of bringing attention to all the things that your mind may be thinking, let's start to focus our mind onto our breathing. Throughout this practice, some of us will just work with mindful breathing, breathing in deeply, breathing out long, just working with a rhythm of breathing that works well for your body for today's practice. Others may have the ability to bring a bit more sensation towards the breath. Our vinyasa practices allow us to practice with our ujjayi breath, a breathing technique that asks you to invite a soft restriction to the muscles around your neck and throat, similar to how you would if you were to whisper deeply or if you were to fog up a mirror. So we can still breathe in through the nose, but as we breathe out, creating that restriction to start to generate a sound to the breath. Now, throughout this practice, your ujjayi may vary. Sometimes it may be swifter, other times it may be deeper. But see if you can work with this cadence of breathing. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. So let's see where this practice takes us as we begin with a very swift sun salutation A. From our mountain pose as we stand tall, inhale, reaching your arms up to the sky, maybe gently behind as you bend back. Exhale to fold forward, release your chest towards your thighs. Just taking a few breaths here, maybe bend your knees, pedal out your feet here, allowing your upper body to get heavy. Relaxing your head, maybe shaking yes, shaking no. Wonderful. On your inhale, we'll lengthen the spine halfway. Find strength through your back as you pull your navel in. Exhale to fold. Let's soften through our knees, sitting low. Breath in, sitting tall, reaching high. Now, some of you may be a bit wider with your feet. Others have the ability to go a bit tighter. Tucking your tailbone in ever so slightly as your navel pulls in. Reaching your arms as comfortably high as you can. See if you can take those bends out of your elbows. We'll take a breath in, maybe reach your arms, press overhead. And exhale, fold, release. Breath in for your halfway lift. Exhale, we'll place our hands down. We'll step our left foot back, anchor our back heel. Breath in, we'll rise up for warrior one. Taking about 3 breaths here as we press into the ground with left heel, bending generously into that right knee, squaring off our hips as our shoulders stack over top. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands come down. We'll switch feet as left foot steps forward, right foot steps back, anchoring through that back heel, and from the ground up, pulling yourself up, rising up, reaching up. Finding your breath. We'll just be here for a couple of breaths to work things out. Great job. Take a breath in, maybe look up. Exhale, both hands down. Step back foot to meet front foot. Let's sit right back into our chair, sitting low, sitting tall, reaching high. Now, something about this posture usually makes us take the smile off our face, so just see if you can soften some of the tension on your face. We'll take a breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Just a few breaths here as we work with some soft knees. And from here on out, we'll be working with our primary series. So the first 2 postures here require us to remain folded. We'll bring our peace fingers and thumb to bind onto our big toes. Keeping weight in your heels, take a breath in. Maybe the heart lifts up, maybe the legs straighten ever so slightly. Exhale, fold deeply. Now, over the course of 5 breaths, see what you can do to create more depth in this space. For some of you, physically, maybe those legs start to straighten out a little bit. Maybe those hips reach a little bit higher. Maybe the crown of your head reaches lower. Breathing with purpose, breathing into this space that we're creating within our body. Wonderful. We'll go a bit deeper from here. We'll lift up our toes as we slide our fingers, maybe our palms underneath our feet. Maybe bend your knees a lot more. Breath in, create space. Maybe chest lifts once again. Exhale, fold deeply. We have 5 breaths to explore. To explore with an open mind, to see what the possibilities are of where we can go physically and mentally. To just be present to our practice. And above all else, showing yourself compassion for your body that is trying its best to work with you. Great. We'll lift up our toes, releasing our hands from underneath us. Inhale, create length with a halfway lift. Exhale, fold, release. Big breath in, stand up, reach up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, we'll reset. We'll start to work with some of our standing postures here. We'll take a step back with our left foot. Right foot will stay facing towards the top of your mat. Our feet are about shoulder width apart, for some of you wider apart. If you do have a block handy, that block can come into your right hand. We'll take a breath in, arms will slice out like the letter T. Exhale, start to hinge as you lean your right arm towards the side. And we'll start to lower that right arm towards the ground, coming into your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Now, being mindful here, we only want to lower down to the degree that we can keep our left shoulder open towards the sky. So we don't want to end up collapsing through the chest or have a difficult time reaching that left hand overhead. If this arm is not cooperating with you today, you can always bring your left hand to your hip and roll that left shoulder back. Great job. On your next breath in, use your core, pull yourself up, turning your right foot in, turning your left foot out. We'll bring the block into our left hand. Take a breath in, we'll reach out. Exhale, hinging. reaching your left hand as far out to the side as you can before it starts to come down, reaching your right hand to the sky. And we can focus here on pressing through our hips, engaging your glutes to do so as you squeeze your shoulders onto your back like you're being pressed up against a wall. Pressing in through your heels, not having passive feet. We're working very mindfully through our whole body. Great job. Using your core, once again, next breath in, we'll pull ourselves up to stand. We'll turn our left foot in, turn our right foot to the top of our mat. And from here, we'll be bringing in a twist. Some of you will choose to heel toe your back leg, in this case, your left leg, a bit closer. Inhale, left leg or left arm, my apologies, will reach up towards the sky as we center over our right thigh. Exhale, left hand will come down either to the inside or outside of that right foot as we focus on rolling open our right shoulder. Now, keeping yourself glued in line with your center, focusing a bit more on your exhale here as you bring in this twist. And maybe for some of you, that right arm does reach up towards the sky, while for others, it just stays on the hip. See what works for you. Getting a little bit lighter on your bottom hand to reach a little bit higher with your top hand. Great job. Use your core, next breath in, pull yourself up to stand. Switching feet as your right foot turns in, left foot faces towards the back of your mat in this case. Inhaling, right hand up towards the sky, get long. Exhale, bringing that right hand to meet your left foot as we start to twist open that left shoulder. Once again, shortening your stance if you need, not worrying about if that left hand can reach high. Focus on your heels remaining grounded, your outer left hip stretching out. And maybe over time that left hand reaches high, or maybe it doesn't today, and that's okay. Awesome. Use your core slowly, mindfully. Breath in, we'll recenter ourselves. And then breath out, we'll step ourselves to the top of our mat. Take a moment here to reset. So first posture there, focusing on relatively straight legs. Second time around, we'll be getting a bit deeper into our hips. Breath in, arms sweep high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Left foot takes a bigger step back as we bend into our right knee. Now, for some of you, you can work with a deep bend in that knee. For others, it may be a softer bend. What I'd like us to all focus on is that our knee stays in line with our heel. If we're using a block, it can come back to our right hand. We'll take a breath in, arms reach out. Exhale, we can bring right forearm to our thigh with left arm reaching to the sky. For others, maybe right hand comes down, left hand reaches overhead. And if you really want to add in some spice, maintaining strength through your core, as you maybe reach both arms overhead. These are all just options. It just depends on what you wish to work with for today. Being mindful, still pressing into the ground through that left heel. Not dumping all your weight into that forearm. Staying long through your spine, maybe bringing your ear and bicep closer together. And then once again, use your core. Breath in, pull yourself up. Turning your right foot in, turning your left foot out. Take a breath in. Exhale, bending into that left knee, left forearm to thigh, right arm to sky. Exploring where you can go over the course of 5 breaths. And do remind yourself that this is a practice. Today, you might not get to where you want to go, but you can always measure your progress in following practices. Focusing on your breath is the foundation of this practice, and wherever the body can go is a bonus. Next breath in, pull yourself up. We'll turn our left foot in, turn our right foot out. We will be prepping for our twist. To make things simple, we'll start with our hands at our heart. Take a breath in. Exhale, beginning to reach left elbow for right knee. Now, if we're having a lot of difficulty with this back leg, you can always pop up that left heel. That may help you focus on the twist. I don't want you to worry about hooking left elbow to right knee. For some of us, that ends up collapsing the right knee. Maintain that length, focusing on rolling right shoulder back, focusing on rolling left shoulder forward as you press your palms together. Great job. Next breath in, returning to center as you straighten your right leg, turning your foot in. Turning your left foot out, bending into your left knee. We'll take a breath. Exhale, beginning to turn your chest towards your left thigh bone as you reach your right elbow towards your left knee. We can always shorten our stance. Palms are pressing, shoulders are squeezing, heart is opening. These are all the things that we can focus on. Whether that elbow hooks or not, maybe not within the practice today, but over time we can explore the progress that we make. Next breath in, we rise up to center. And exhale, stepping towards the top of your mat, taking a moment to reset your lower body. This third time around, we'll be working with straightened legs again, but we'll be working with a lot more length and space within the hips. Inhaling, arm sweep high. Exhaling, palms to your heart. Take as big of a step as you can with your left foot. Some of you will go mat width apart. Some of you might have to go shorter, and that's okay. To take some of the pressure out of your lower body here, you can turn your toes out slightly. You can bend your knees slightly. Inhale, arms sweep high. Let's look up. Exhale, palms come to line up with your feet as we fold forward towards the ground. Weight remains in your heels. Relaxing your head as you look behind your legs. Feeling a stretch through your hamstrings. Feeling length through your lumbar spine as your spine gets heavy. Being very mindful here on your next breath in, that halfway lift coming up to your fingertips as your spine lengthens. Breath out, hands to your hips. We squeeze. Inhale to rise up. As you pull yourself up, let's roll our shoulders onto our back. Take another breath in. Let's look up towards the sky. Exhale, let's hinge as our hips press back, as our chest hovers forward. Once again, feeling that length through the hamstrings, being very mindful of any pressure that's building up in your knees. And you may not fold as deeply here, but that's okay. Maintaining this long spine here as we focus more so on hinging at the hips. Keep that squeeze. Next breath in, pull yourself up. Great. We'll take our following breath in, arms reaching high to the sky. Exhale, hands bind behind our lower back. Take a breath in, roll your shoulders back, reach your palms, your hands down towards the ground. Exhale, hinging, folding again. See where you can go over the course of 5 breaths. For some of you, those bound hands will reach higher and higher towards the sky. For some of you, it's just focusing on that stretch through the legs, through that depth within your hips, as we actively create compression within our hips. Listening carefully, on your next breath out, we'll release our hands towards the ground. Let's catch onto our big toes with our peace fingers once again. And if that's too much to work with, you can always grab onto your ankles or somewhere along your feet. Bend your knees as much as you need. We'll take a breath in, chest lifts. Exhale, we fold, we hinge, we completely relax our upper body as we fold into the ground. Now, there's nothing wrong with bending the knees. For many of us, that takes some of the tension out of the knee joint. That creates a little bit more softness in the muscles that run behind your knees. And it allows us to focus a little bit more on lengthening through the hamstrings from a place where we're not struggling as much. Awesome. We'll walk our hands back towards center. Take a breath in, that halfway lift. Exhale, hands to your hips, squeeze. Inhale, pull yourself up to stand. Exhale, slowly walk yourself to the top of your mat. One more posture here to focus on length through the legs. 3 options to work with when it comes to hand position. Interlacing as we were doing just before. Bringing your hands or your forearms together. Or for some of you that have a little bit more access to work with, we can bring our palms towards our lower back as we press them together, coming into our reverse prayer. Now we'll step our left foot back just about 2 steps, enough so that we still have weight in both heels and working with 2 relatively straight legs. Soft bends through the knees, never a problem here. Inhaling to bend back ever so slightly as you lift up through your heart. Exhale, hinging, maintaining that long spine. If we start to round here, we will lose that connection with our palms pressing behind our back. Feeling a stretch here through your right thigh bone, through your right hamstring. Shoulders squeezing, heart lifting, maybe looking slightly out in front. Keeping your hands behind you. Next breath in, rise up. Exhale, pivot all 10 toes towards the back of your mat. Inhaling, opening up, leaning back, looking up. Exhale, we hinge as we fold over our left thigh bone here. Now, no doubt that reverse prayer posture with the hands is a challenge for the forearms and wrists. I'm not asking you to force yourself into this position, so do what feels best. Over time, maybe you'll be able to get the hands closer together. But at the end of the day, we're here to listen to our body so we can work with our body. Great job. Next breath in, pull yourself up. Exhale, pivot towards the top of your mat. We'll take a moment to reset, releasing our hands from behind our lower back. Great job. Now, the last little bit of this primary series involves balance. Our ability to balance on one leg. We will be holding each balancing sequence for about 20 breaths. If you're close to a wall, please use it. I encourage it. Nothing wrong with having additional support. If you have a strap, that may come in handy, although I'm not sure where my strap went. So I will be working with a shorter lever to demonstrate what ends up happening. We'll be starting with spreading our left toes wide, and we'll bring our thighs a bit closer together so that we can remain a bit more centered. We'll lift up our right heel. We'll bring up our right knee. Now you choose. Some of you will hold on to your thigh, and that's great. Some of you will hold on to your big toe, as we've been binding before. Some of you will hold on to the pinky side of your right foot. Whatever you've chosen to do, we'll start to extend our right leg out in front, having as much of a bend as you need in both legs. Your free hand, your left hand can just be there to support you. Spine is long, leg is lengthening. We're starting to feel a stretch through the hamstring. Now, for some of you, you'll just work with a bent knee, and that's okay. Balance is balance. The stretch is just a bonus in this case. Great. Breath out. Maybe you rebend your knee as you open your right leg out towards the side of your mat. Once again, you may start here holding onto your knee and work to extend that leg out. Some of you have the ability to remain holding onto that big foot, big toe, as you extend that leg out. Your left hand, once again, keeping you supported on your hip, maybe reaching out to the side, whatever feels all right. Breath in, we bring that right leg back towards center. Once again, maybe starting with a bent knee as you bring your chest towards your thigh bone. From here, some of you will hold on as you extend that leg out in front, creating a deep stretching sensation through the lower back and still maintaining that stretch through the hamstring, however works best for you. Last 5 breaths. We keep that right leg lifting as high as it comfortably can, while resting our hands on our hips or by our side, focusing now on active hip flexion. Thighs are squeezing, glutes are engaging, spine is lengthening, and we're trying our darnest to lift that right foot. Take a breath in. Exhale, release down towards the ground, shake things out. Now, it's not uncommon if you feel something like a burning sensation in your standing leg. For many of us, our nervous system has not been challenged to this degree of balance. So it does end up becoming quite stimulated and, in this sense, stressed out. We can definitely build endurance, but it takes time, takes practice, takes a good amount of patience. Let's switch sides as we ground down through our right foot. Spread your toes, grip into the ground, ground down through that heel. Lifting up the left heel, lifting up the left knee, holding wherever you can as you start to extend and stretch out your hamstring. Flexing your toes, pointing them to your nose, extending that heel out, feeling a stretch through your hamstring. If the knee is bent, maybe a little bit less through the calf, and that's okay. See what works for you here. Let's rebend left knee, breath out, open it out to the side. Glutes engage to really help open that thigh bone out. We can just work here, just focusing on opening through the inner thigh. Hands can go wherever they wish to go. Spine is long, breath is smooth. You're doing great. Inhale, left leg towards center, hinging. And you might only hinge a little bit. That's okay. Some of you will bring the chest all the way to the thigh bone, and maybe from there, holding on as you extend that left leg out, bending into your right knee as much as you need to support yourself here. You're doing great. And then keeping left leg extended, lifting up that left foot as much as you can. Once again, focusing on any one thing without your eyes becoming distracted. Lift a little bit higher if you can. Take one more breath. Exhale, bring your feet together, shake things out. Woo! Note to self, don't go for a run before this. Welcoming one last balanced posture. I'll provide 3 options for the sake of accessibility. For some of you, it will be your tree pose, right foot to the inner thigh, inner left leg. And that can be down at the ankle, up towards the thigh, just not on the knee itself. Your standing pigeon, crossing your right ankle over your left knee, sitting low. Or the more traditional option, just being very mindful with your knee, your ankle, your hip, your bound half lotus, bringing the edge of your right foot into the crease of your left hip. And once again, maybe hinging, maybe not. So take your time, spread your left toes wide. See where you wish to go for 5 breaths with that right leg. Tree pose, arms can be challenging you in any sort of way. Standing pigeon, crossing that ankle over the knee, maybe hinging, maybe once again reaching, or just keeping things still. Or that bound half lotus, crossing. 3 breaths. Next breath in, we'll rise up, we'll remove right foot towards the ground. We'll shake things out as we switch sides. Spreading right toes wide, lifting up left heel. And you choose where you go for the course of about 5 breaths. Tree, standing pigeon, bound half lotus. No right or wrong. You pick your challenge. Our ability or inability to do a certain posture does not make our practice any better or worse. Everybody has a different practice. Every body and mind has a different need that can be fulfilled by this practice. Great job. Take a breath in. Exhale. Left foot meets right foot. Keeping your feet together. Inhale, arms sweep high. Keep them there. Exhale, bend your knees, sitting into your chair. 5 breaths here. Sitting a little bit lower if you can. Sitting a little bit taller if you can. Reaching a bit higher, maybe palms squeezing together if they can. Take a breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back, heel anchors down. We've been here before. Inhale, warrior 1. Rise up, reach up, maybe look up. 5 breaths. Where can you go from here? Can you press into that left heel to straighten and stretch out that left calf? Can you bend a little bit deeper into that right knee? Not a whole lot. Reach a little bit higher, start to turn on your side body here. Great. Looking up towards your palms. On your breath out, pivot towards the side of your mat as we then pivot towards the back of our mat. Just switching legs as we come into warrior 1, bending into left knee, reaching arms high towards the sky still. Take your next inhale in. Exhale, warrior 2. We'll slice our arms out like the letter T. That back foot of ours, right foot in this case, might turn out so we can open a bit more through our hips. Great job. Energy being sent from fingertip to tip as your shoulders roll onto your back. Great job. Breath in, big star. Exhale, warrior 2, bending into your right knee, coming to the top of your mat. Making sure that your right knee is not buckling in. Use your glutes to open that right knee out. Wonderful job. We'll take a breath in here. Exhale, let's bring our hands to the top of our mat. Back foot will meet front foot. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, release. Take a big breath in as you rise up, reach up, look up. Breath out, bring your hands to your heart. We reset. Give yourself 3 full body breaths here. You might even wish to open your mouth as you sigh out, releasing some heat, some energy out of your body. Wonderful job. Now, this was your primary series based off of the Ashtanga sequence of yoga postures. If this is all you were looking to get out of today's practice, thank you for joining. For those of you that need a bit of a cool down, we'll just come to sit on our butts here. We'll just bring a little bit of movement into the lower body. Knees will open out, knees can stay bent, arms by our side, and just some soft windshield wipers as we drop our knees side to side. Now, when it comes to the practice of Ashtanga, there is a whole seated series that goes along with the postures. Just for the sake of time and convenience. We won't be covering those today, but look forward to future videos and we'll be sure to prioritize those as well. Breath can start to slow down. Ujjayi can start to be released. Great. We'll bring our heels in together. Just take a moment here as we land in our butterfly pose. Knees dropping out to the side, spine lengthening. We'll take a breath. Exhale, hinging, just melting your chest towards your feet ever so slightly. Great job. We'll sit ourselves up. We'll cross our legs here. And just for the next 15 to 20 breaths, we'll close our eyes as we once again slow things back down and settle ourselves in to the end of this practice. Relaxing the muscles around your eyes and your eyelids if you're able to. If being seated doesn't feel the greatest, please lie down. Finding child's pose if that feels more comfortable. But all you're being asked to do now is to feel. Feel what you have done throughout today's practice. Feel what's changed within your body and mind since you began or before you began your practice today. And something that is so undervalued in today's society, can you just give yourself an opportunity to enjoy rest? For the next 15 breaths, there is nothing you need to do, nothing more you need to accomplish. All you have to do is breathe and be. Let's slowly bring our hands to our heart. We'll tuck our chin to our chest as we just take a moment to land with a bit of stillness and silence. When it comes to this practice of yoga, there is no expectation of perfection. There are 3 qualities that we hope to cultivate on our mats. Presence, to be present to what you feel as you move your body and work with your mind on your mat. Curiosity, that you can practice with an open mind. To not instantly doubt yourself and say that you can't do something, but to be open to the possibilities of trying. And compassion, to be kind to yourself as you work through an unknown practice. As you put your body into shapes that it may not be used to, be kind to yourself. And the hope is you can take those qualities with you off your mat and be able to share them with people you meet. At the end of the day, may you be happy, may you be healthy, May you live peacefully and harmoniously. May you be liberated from your pain and suffering. My name is Nav. It's been my honor to guide you here through today's primary series, this Ashtanga-based practice. Let us seal our practice by sitting tall, bowing forward, and humbly saying, Namaste. Thank you all for attending this practice. I hope you were able to get what you were looking for, whether it was physically or mentally or emotionally. As always, if you appreciate these practices and like what I do, please consider liking and subscribing down below. If you have any questions about the practice, about your postures, or anything additional, please type it out below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Otherwise, thank you all for coming today. Stay safe, be well, and I look forward to seeing you again for the next practice.